Hi, welcome today. A little bit of video about when addiction ends. And I know for some of you that's going to be a major turning point in your life. In fact, for all of us that have been addicted to anything, it's a major turning point in our lives. It always happens. It always happens when one thing takes place. Every time. And that is pain. When there is enough pain or fear, which is also part of the same equation, when there's enough pain, we tend to change. Now, if there's a tremendous amount of pain, we will change. We can't help it. You see, we are wired for two things. We are, number one, wired to avoid pain, and number two, we're wired to seek pleasure. From the caveman times, we were wired to avoid pain, or what it would have been considered was death. If a dinosaur was coming at us, we would be afraid and we would do anything we could to escape the dinosaur. To this day, that part of our brain in the back, the reptilian brain they call it, that part of our brain still to this day is trying to help us avoid pain. Here's the problem. We don't have a dinosaur chasing us anymore, but we're avoiding pain. How did we get into the situation we're in? Is again to trying to avoid pain. Sometimes doing a drug is to avoid pain. Eating more food is to avoid pain. Seeking a little pleasure. But once you're addicted, regardless of the substance or the circumstances, you have to get out of it. And the way to get out of it is to face the pain. Now this sounds terrible, and I've heard psychologists and doctors and tell me, you know what, I don't want my clients to face the pain because that's hurting them more. Well, the reality is if you want to stop, quite often, in my opinion, every time you have to face the pain. When you do, you'll change. Your system, your body will have to change. Hitting rock bottom is one of those things. We all know addicts that have stopped instantly. We know different people, alcoholics that one day just said, I'm done. I've finished. I can no longer do this. I can no longer do any drugs. I'm no longer going to associate with those people. I am changing my life. People that have gone on diets. I am no longer going to eat food that creates high blood pressure and makes me obese and etc. They just stopped. Well, those people actually had enough pain in their lives that one day they just stopped. I had a brother, smoked 3 to 4 packs of cigarettes a day, was so addicted to it, tried to stop time and time and time again, just never could. One day he had a heart attack, practically killed him. Saw him a couple months later, we got together. He lived in a different state, so we got together after his operation. I was there for that. But after it was over with, I said to him, how did you quit smoking? He said, are you kidding me? It's the easiest thing I ever did. I said, really? He goes, you know how much pain I went through when they broke my chest open and had to do the open heart surgery? He said, it was so painful. He said, I couldn't smoke again. Pain. Another guy, not a young man, but a medium-aged man who had a problem with cocaine and alcoholism. Been in rehab 5 times, government paid. He was a former government employee, doing some sort of operations that he never talked about. He just simply said to me that I have to quit. And he was actually a client of mine. And I said, what do you mean you have to quit? He said, well, I have to. And I said, no, you don't. Tonight, you can go home. You can get the case of beer and you can drink it again until you're out, knocked out, and go to sleep again. He goes, you don't understand. I can't live this way anymore. And I further coaxed him on, explaining to me why he had to quit. And he asked me to help him. And I told him, no, I'm not going to help you. You're not ready. Well, finally, one day he just told me I had to quit. I had to quit. He got angry at me. He basically said, you've got to help me quit. And I said, why? And he told me why. And I said, okay, let's do it. So what we did in his therapy was we took him to rock bottom pretty quickly in 2 hours in his mind. But he had so much pain that he knew that he would die if he didn't quit. That this addiction was killing him. He quit. I know this seems basic, but you'll hear it, you'll see it in other blogs and you'll hear it in other videos exactly how this system works. It works. The one thing I can tell you is it works and it works and it works and it works and it works. I've had psychologists, I've had doctors, medical doctors, psychiatrists tell me, oh, but we don't want to make our clients feel the pain, our patients feel the pain. And I'm thinking, well, that's how they're going to change. Well, what if you could feel a lifetime of pain in 2 hours and be over it? And then move on to the pleasure, which is what we want to do. Our brain will force that issue on us. That is one of the keys that we talk about in our system. But anyway, the reason that people relapse is because they don't have enough pain. If you had enough pain, you wouldn't do it. That's how the system works. So we just use what is wired in your brain. We just use it. We actually use it to your advantage instead of it using you. We go to the survival mechanism. Everybody knows that survival, our survival, self-survival is the number one key, the number one motivator that will pretty much do anything to prevent us from dying. Well, if we use that part of our brain, we're light years ahead and we will change. It also is interesting, when people do go through this process and they change, they have enough pain and then the pleasure comes in. Just realize it. We don't just stop at pain, we go to the pleasure. What it's going to be like in 1 week from now, what's going to be like in a month from now, what's it going to be like in 6 months? How are you going to be better in 6 months or 1 year without this addiction, without the desire? That's the key. How are you going to be? Well, when you know how that's going to happen and you visualize it and you feel it and it's part of you, you don't ever want to go back. You become a new person. The guy that was the alcoholic for years and years, doing cocaine, doing everything, became a new person. He became a nicer person. He became a more well-liked person. He became a cleaner person. In all kinds of different ways, he started to give back. He actually started coaching other addicts, other alcoholics, and trying to help them quit their addictions, or at least show them a better way. So it was very interesting. A lot of the people that I've helped actually become new people. And you do. When you're not addicted to a substance, I can't tell you the freedom it gives you. Let's say you're addicted to food. You go to a restaurant, you just look at the food differently. You don't see it any longer as something that satisfies me and I want to fill myself up with it. You see it as, this is good for me, this is going to add to my life. This is bad for me, it's going to take away from my life. That you become a new you. And that's what we're looking for you. Go through this program, take your time, read the blog, read the book if you get time, and just understand how the process works. And that's all I want to talk about today in this quick video. If you have any questions, email me. Please email me. If you're dealing with a mental health professional of any kind and they have questions, or you bring this up to them and they're not sure about it, have them send me an email. I'll be happy to answer it. I'll be happy to work with them if they need to. Okay? I'm here for your benefit. Anyway, thank you so much for listening in, and see you on the next video. God bless you. Bye-bye.